Well, hello there. Welcome to an episode of Toy Topics. This is where I just speak my mind on action figure related topics, since I really can't do that during my reviews. So let's try not to be soft and sensitive bitch-ass collectors. This is just my opinion, how I feel about certain things. And you can share how you feel as well in the comments below. I read and I like every single one, as long as you're not insulting or attacking anyone. And I reply as much as I can. I'm not here to change how anyone feels. I'm just speaking about how I feel. It's a wonderful time to collect these toys, a wonderful time to collect and enjoy. But if we look into my mind, what toy topics will we find? What is going on, everybody? Articulated Ninja here, and we're just going to get right into the discussion at hand. I'm getting a lot of questions and people asking me what I think about the project. I think it looks beautiful. I think the plane is beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. But here's how, in my opinion, the Haslab Rattler, for me, did show that G.I. Joe is winning, and in a lot of cases, they could really care less. The patches... What the hell? The patches are worse than the Star Wars bones or cardboard backdrop as a tier. The reason it's worse to me is because it has no function with the actual product. It's not a toy or an accessory for the toy. It's something totally different. Yes, it's still associated and affiliated with the product, but it has no function with the actual product.
He ain't lying.
How more obvious do they need to say, yeah, we could care less about the tiers. You fiends are gonna back the vehicle regardless what we throw in with it.
Got him. We fucking got him.
Next time, it'll honestly be a hat.
What the hell is going on?
It'll be a hat. The patches are equal to a hat for me. It is. They save more money giving us patches as a tier because there's no tooling. They didn't need to tool up another whole action figure. We're gonna act like it costs more to make 3 patches than 1 figure?
Shut your
There's more designing, engineering, and ingenuity that goes into 3 patches versus 1 figure. No, it's a way for them to even make and save more. Another thing that showed that they could care less is they didn't pivot from the project when everybody basically knew for over a year that it was the Rattler. They didn't say, okay, since basically everyone knows, let's surprise them with something different. Nope. They said, who cares if everyone knows a year in advance? Who cares? They're gonna buy it and love it anyway. The Rattler looks beautiful. I like the accessories. I like the stuff that it comes with on the base product. I think it's cool. I'm not gonna sit here and say and go into what's extremely accurate and what's not accurate, and it's a toy. Plus there's other channels that are way more knowledgeable than me to know what's extremely accurate or what is completely fantasy. I don't know. I just look at it. I say, hey, does this look cool? Would I like it on my shelf? Or in this case, hanging from my ceiling? And I would. It looks really nice, man. So though the Rattler does look beautiful, even though the tiers to me are mediocre at best, this has been the worst kept secret. Not to mention, like I always say, there's no real reason this had to be crowdfunded. How many things have funded in less than 24 hours for them to realize obviously it's going to sell, pay for tooling, and take the risk as a billion-dollar company should? But they'll say, oh, it's the lights. That's why it's so premium to be a dream project or to have to be crowdfunded by the billion-dollar company. Sure, it's the lights. Definitely, this is a nice toy. I'm not hating on it at all. Life is short. Get it if you love it. That's how I feel about it. They said themselves Haslabs were started for dream projects. I don't consider a plane to be a dream project. Yes, it's big. Yes, it's beautiful. But I mean, like, do a command center. Do a command center, not a bar. No, nobody wants a bar, you know what I'm saying? Like, do a command center, do something that's big, that's huge, that's intimidating. That's more dream project like than a plane or a helicopter or something with 4 wheels or, you know, a smaller tank. Those are not dream projects to me. This is another product that should be just another high priced point pre-order. This is just another high price point item, basically. Giant Man should have been a high price point pre-order. Same for the Rancor, same for the His Tank, same for the Dragonfly. These are standard, very standard regular releases, regular vehicles. or deluxe figures at best. None of these items that I've listed are doing us favors as fans. It's a favor for them and their wallets and their budget as they cut the middleman out, make us pay for tooling and wait almost 2 years or more per item at this point. And now it's a norm for them to take money from us before even delivering on the previous item. They took the Dragonfly money before delivering on their previous Haslab. They did the same here. Hasbro Pulse, where the fans come last, but they do a good job at blowing smoke up everyone's asses.
You're a problem.
I think that this thing is beautiful. 33 inches long, basically 33 inches wide. That is almost 3 feet in length and width. I see a lot of people being so amazed by the size. It's close to 3 feet, not exactly 3 feet or over 3 feet. I had vehicles growing up as a kid that was bigger than 3 feet. Granted, different time, different economy. I'm not comparing the prices. I'm not complaining about the price of this Rattler. I'm saying a real 3 foot long flying vehicle has been done by companies, specifically Hasbro has done it before in the early 2000s. Hasbro did it with the Royal Starship. I had this ship. It was over 3 feet. It had sounds, it had lights, it had battle damage parts. Either a lot of these Hasbro Defenders just started collecting, or y'all got really short-term memory. So if you fast forward 24 years later, all the Hasbros are convinced, oh no, it's so big, it has to be crowdfunded. Fast forward 24 years later, toy groups make excuses for Hasbro Haslabbing. Like they need to do it. Oh, it's such a big risk. Oh my God, this is such a big risk for them. Almost 3 feet long vehicle, or a car, or a giant man. Or no, none of this is risk for them. Stop it. Like I said, how many classified vehicles need to be crowdfunded before y'all realize they already know it's gonna sell? I mean, come on, if you think they weren't confident in this selling out in the first 24 hours or less, do you actually believe they would have included patches as the first tier? But they knew they could have included toilet paper with Cobra shit on it as the first tier, and it would make no difference.
It's science.
Usually the first and the last tiers hit the hardest to incentivize people to reach those milestones. Let me say it for the slow ones in the back. I'm not comparing the retail price of the Rattler to the 2000 Starship. No.
Bitch, are you dumb?
Pardon me?
Are you dumb?
I think she's dumb.
I think the price point of the Rattler makes sense for today and what they already get away with. It makes sense for their timeline. I'm not complaining about the price, though we all know it could be cheaper, sure. I'm saying wake up and stop having such short-term memory and praising them for the bare minimum. I'm using the Starship as a model for, once again, this didn't need to be crowdfunded. Both flight vehicles, the Starship had lights, had sounds, and it's even bigger in length at over 3 feet, not just barely 3 feet. But people still don't see how much they blatantly just rip us off and lie like these can't be standard releases. The Rattler looks great. If you can get it, get it. Life is short. But this Haslab for me was just another great example of why Haslab should not exist. None of this is dream projects. These are all pre-orders at higher price points. I think personally Haslabs are getting smaller. This is them knowing that they can offer less value, less detail, less everything, and still get us to throw our damn wallets at anything that they put out. Haslabs are getting smaller. We went from the sail barge to the cantina. Is this a fucking joke? That is way more worthy of being crowdfunded or a dream project than a plane, than a helicopter, come on, man. Look at the size of these two things. Look at the sail barge and look at the Starship. So no, when I saw this thing, I feel like the woman in the room with 100 or more bodies. I'm like, sorry, sweetie, the size does not impress me. I'm not impressed by the size at all. I've had bigger, I've had better. Stop it.
Haram!
And I've had bigger and better, and it didn't even need to be crowdfunded by the same damn company. Stop it. And I'm not saying that this is unique to Hasbro. All companies do it. Look at the size of a Big Mac when it was first released compared to, how much smaller they have gotten over time. When companies realize they can give less and make more, that's exactly what they're going to do. So I'm just saying, let's stop praising them or talking about, oh, it's so big. No, it's not. It's actually really not. It's not that impressive. And like I said before, huge risky dream projects to me are like command centers or something like the USS Flag. And for everyone that's automatically like, oh, well, the USS Flag couldn't happen. That would have to be bigger than a kitchen. That would
Stop it. Get some help.
Stop being goofy. The cat's lair, that wasn't actually real size to scale, right? Neither was a lot of other bigger projects. They're not exact 1-to-1 scale, right? So neither does the flag. It doesn't have to be 1-to-1 exactly perfectly scaled, but it should just be much bigger than this, much bigger in general. Maybe the size of a kitchen table or something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's my point. So this same company can downsize when they want to, downsize a flag, downsize a command center. You downsize Galactus. How big would Galactus actually have to be if he was going to be a 1-to-1 accurate scale size? It's like when it's convenient for these companies, they want to say, oh, you want to know how big that has to be? But then other times they can downscale it or downsize it and say everyone should just be happy. Well, which one is it? Does it have to be a perfect size, perfect replica, 1-to-1? Or can we downsize some things but still make it very functional for the line? Because tons of other companies in the past and the present have just downsized these things and still made it very functional for their line. Look at Wayne Manor. Wayne Manor should be 10 times bigger than this. But I love this thing. This was great. It was amazing, and it was still very functional for the line. The same with the back computer. And they say these things get downsized, but they're still functional for their lines. Which one is it? What are we doing here, Hasbro? But Hasbro and their puppets will just use that 1-to-1 excuse to continue to offer us mediocre releases or dream projects that should really just be higher price point pre-orders or, just standard releases in general. They'll run with that 1-to-1 excuse. You know how big that thing would have to be? Stop it. It actually wouldn't have to be that big. It just needs to be functional with the line. They justify a bar or other ships that are smaller or similar in size as a Haslab. And it's because people and content creators, influencers, toy tubers, whatever, they continuously make excuses for Hasbro Haslabbing. These are the same people that will complain about how bad taxes are and inflation and the price of groceries, but they make excuses for Hasbro and toys. It's wild to me. Past citizens that have come before us have revolted over a 2% sales tax on tea. Today, no, we make excuses for the billion-dollar company ripping us off as we gladly accept some patches.
You useless imbeciles are going to fund it for me!
I like the Rattler. If you're gonna get it, get it. But just be aware that two things can be true at the same time. Just because you purchase something doesn't mean you have to be in agreement or like the rollout of that said product. You can purchase something and still think it's total bullshit the circumstances of which said product had to be released. You get it, right? You can purchase something but still not be in agreement, let alone make excuses for the company that you purchased it from. In a perfect world, we could all protest and get these to be regular releases because that's actually what they are. But I know that that's not going to happen. I'm not here to be delusional. So for me, the second best option for me is at bare minimum, let's stop praising them and acting like they are doing us a favor when they are only helping themselves. Forget not praising them. Let's stop being understanding and making excuses for us getting ripped off. Let alone they reveal stuff and everybody's screaming like it's amazing or no. It's not amazing. We're getting ripped off again. It shouldn't have to be this way. My honest takes and videos like this is why you guys will never see me get Hasbro products in early or be out eating with the Hasbro team at conventions, because at that point, I wouldn't be able to call bullshit on their actual bullshit. I'd be an unofficial, unpaid employee the way some other creators are.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
I don't have an issue with crowdfunding. I think it's great for startups and in the beginning. But from the biggest action figure company in the world, stop it. Stop it. And if the biggest action figure company in the world is going to crowdfund, make it something worthy, a dream project. The Hasbro Haslabbing defenders are the best customers to have. They're blind consumers with very short-term memory. I don't blame Hasbro for taking advantage of them. But shout out to all of my channel members that support the channel, so I don't ever have to worry about getting in good with the company and jading my own opinion for some monetary gain or other incentives. Instead, keeping it real and being honest is my incentive for my channel members because they value it enough to support the channel. Link in the description below if you want to join and get access to tons of private videos and private live streams and giveaways. Guys, this thing is beautiful, man, but I'm just here to call a spade, and two things can be true at the same time. Yes, it's beautiful, but I just hate the way that it's being given to us and it had to be rolled out as a Haslab when it definitely should not be. Me personally, I don't think I'm going to back this just because it is under the Haslab banner. So I don't want to back something that I'm also complaining about. I'm not complaining about the product. I'm also not complaining about the price, even though we know it could be cheaper. I'm just complaining about the rollout and the fact that this had to be crowdfunded when it definitely did not have to be as usual. So I can't back it knowing that that's what I'm complaining about. I don't want to feed the beast and add the money to that machine. I am a content creator. I do have a platform, so my actions do have to be in alignment with what I'm saying. Maybe I'll still get it on the channel if I can borrow it from a channel member or something like that just to talk about it and show you guys. But me personally, I'm not going to back this on the campaign. But anyone that loves this thing, get it now while the fear of missing out is strong, because of course they hid it behind the Haslab banner, meaning you'll never be able to get it again. So I'd much rather you guys get it now than have to overpay and pay those scalper prices on the aftermarket. Since they hid it behind the Haslab banner, where are our other his tanks in other colors? Are we ever going to get that? No, because they hid it behind a Haslab banner. These things are standard releases, man. I'm done with praising them or getting excited when in the long term and in the short term, we are losing every time they do this. They're ripping us off. So get it now while you can so you don't have to pay those scalper prices. These are army building vehicles which should be accessible to everyone, not just specific countries or regions, and not hidden behind a Haslab banner, and should be given to us in multiple different colors at multiple different times with ample opportunity to buy these and army build them as they should be, because they are army building vehicles, not just given to us in that short Haslab window, never to be seen again.
Gotcha, bitch.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
G.I. Joe, classified, Marvel Legends on my mind, Valorverse and NECA time, Mythic Legions I must find, SH Figure Arts I can't lie, Rebel Tech got my pockets dry, Set Action Figures for life, Articulated Ninja is nice, yeah, you might wanna subscribe, Action